What up guys, it's Valkia, and I'm going to teach you how to stay alive longer as Pharah when the other team have a Hitscan or even a Widowmaker. It's too often on my team, I'll go and pick Pharah and somebody on there will be like, oh my god, Valkia, they get a Hitscan, you're going to need to change for Pharah. And I'm like, you're a Roadhog, they've got a Reaper, you know, you're probably going to have to change too. Every hero has a counter, and it's just about how you deal with that counter. And if you can deal with it correctly, you can dominate. Alright, so rule number 1 for staying alive as Pharah, and probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you, is don't peek from the same place twice as Pharah. This means if you're kind of on a corner and there's a McCree at the other side, and you're peeking him and you're taking a shot at him and you kind of move out the way and you come back at exactly the same place, McCree is going to know and recognize a pattern that you're kind of peeking in, peeking out, peeking in, peeking out, and he's going to be able to take you down. So if you peek and you're on your own from the same place twice, McCree is probably going to get some very good shots off on you. What you need to do is you need to be Pharah, you need to use that jump pack, you need to be versatile. So if I peek from the left, what I'll do then is I'll boost up and I'll find myself another vantage point to take a shot at that McCree. So it might be that I boost into the sky, I'm at a very similar position, but I'm way higher in the air, and I'll fire a rocket down, then I'll drop down a bit and fire another rocket forwards. So the McCree is kind of doesn't really understand your pattern of peeking, so he can't kind of predict where you're going to come out of next. It makes it very hard for the hit scans. What you need to work on is your accuracy, making sure that when you shoot rockets that they're going to hit your target or very close, at least do some splash damage. Rule number 2 is know when it's time to get some cover. This means when you're in a vulnerable situation, when you're kind of in the open with no cover around you, going one-to-one with a hit scan when there's no cover is very difficult. Pharah is a hero which plays around corners, above ledges, putting a single rocket in at a time and then moving to another location. Now, if you do find yourself in a situation where you're very vulnerable, make sure to use your concussive blast to get yourself to safety. It's the quickest way to move. If there isn't anywhere to kind of get to safety, you might have to go one-to-one with a hit scan. Now, this is the time when it is very difficult because you've got to have super precise rocket aim, and the hit scans, you know, all they need is like a couple of shots on you. So this is when it is difficult. So just keep in mind that wherever you're going to be moving to next, make sure that you can see where your backup cover is going to be if you get into trouble. Rule number 3 is hit scans will hunt you, and you can use this to your advantage. So hit scans know that they are your counter. So what they will do is if they see a Pharah in the sky, what they'll probably do is try and run and hunt you down. For example, if I'm on a corner and I'm shooting a McCree, I know that if I kind of pedal backwards and I carry on shooting at the corner, the McCree is going to run into the rockets because he's going to come around that corner thinking, I'm a McCree, you're a Pharah, I can take you out. But actually what he's doing is he's running into my pre-placed rockets and doing damage to himself so that either somebody else on the team can take him down or that I can just, you know, take him down on that corner. Because a lot of the time I will get some stupid hit scans that will just run around the corner and just run straight into the rockets because they just think they can take me down straight away. By that time I'm around the corner hidden somewhere, so they don't even know where I am, and even if they do, I'm hard to get to and I'm probably more likely to be with the team. So my rule number 4 is know when it's time to use your ulti. Sometimes, recently, I've decided that I'm not going to use my ulti. Instead, I'm just going to put normal rockets in. Because I've been in so many situations where I'll use an ulti and I will just get taken out. Now, rule number 1 here is to make sure you know where the whole enemy team are. Or at least, you know, 5 out of 6 of the enemy team, because if you don't know where they are, you'll put your ulti on and there's probably going to be a McCree or a soldier around the corner, I can guarantee you that, or there's a Roadhog just about to hook you down. That's another one. Make sure to stay away from the Roadhog hooks in an ulti. If you know they've got a Roadhog, just try and get a distance away in which you can't get hooked. But again, being that far away means you're more vulnerable to being shot down, and because your rockets take longer to hit the targets. So with your ultimate, you've really got to be careful. Make sure to watch my other tutorial on how to use your ultimate properly. The best way to do this is to do it when there's a big engaging team fight, when it's pretty much 6v6 and you can kind of fly up and drop down from above where you don't use your jetpack so they can't hear you. But yeah, you've really got to be careful. More recently, I've been using my ulti to take down 1 to 2 targets, or some of the bigger targets. For example, Zarya is a big threat to your team, so I use pretty much solo ulti on Zarya to take her down when I know she's kind of on her own or when I can survive. Even as a trade, myself for Zarya is a good trade. Rule number 5, which is also a pretty obvious one, is identify your biggest threats. You might be engaging in battle versus a hero which is less likely to take you down than the McCree that's just walked around the corner. What you need to do is use your peripheral vision, you need to be smart, and you need to know that the person who's walked around the corner is going to take you down quicker than the person that you're challenging. So you need to prioritize your targets and focus it down. Of course, what you need to do is talk with your team, because a lot of the time the teams will have target priority anyway, but you need to make sure that you look after yourself as well, otherwise you'll just get taken down very quickly and it'll become frustrating for you and for your team. And rule number 6 is know when it's time to switch. You need to understand the skill of your enemy. An amazing McCree, Soldier, Widowmaker is going to take down Pharah instantly. If you get taken down more than 2 to 3 times without doing any sort of damage, you're going to need to change, because you need to benefit the team in a way which you're not just being taken down as soon as you get into the battles. Pharah is a hero which can become very hard to play at higher levels. At the moment, I'm in Masters playing Pharah and I can still take down the teams, but I will come across some people who are McCrees, which are good, and instantly I need to say to myself, right, okay, this guy is good. What are my chances of being able to hit him? Pretty slim. He's very well covered. I'm going to have to change to a hero which I can stay safer and be more with the team. So hopefully this guide will help you stay alive longer versus some of the Hitscans. Go through the kind of training as a drill and make sure that you're kind of putting it all into place. And if you do, you'll most likely be able to survive longer.